The way that I like to use type is I use it to see someone's divine design. I see
Ooh,
type frameworks or anything that helps you understand people better as a way to help them see their divine design.
what do you
And
mean by that?
so it's how you can help them reach their potential. This is their purpose, basically.
Mm.
It's understanding their purpose work through understanding their genetic framework or the things that make them up who they are, and trying to help them have a clearer sense of that so that they're able to embark on that. I almost see myself as a guide to help bring people further down their path to spiritual wholeness, whatever that is for them.
Do you think that is that your divine design?
Yeah, my divine design is seeing other people's divine design.
That's amazing. I love that term. What do you think my divine design is? You
Yeah,
know,
I think you're doing a wonderful job with TypeMatch right now and integrating the systems. A part of your design is seeing the opportunity in life and having energizing look on opportunity. And so you're built for it. So it's almost like an artist is condemned to create. You're condemned to see opportunity. And so that's also your purpose as well.
yeah, I like that term, condemned. No, because I don't know. I prefer to look at things in the framework of like more the grim, because my view on life is like that suffering is inevitable. So if you don't choose your suffering, it will be chosen for you. And if this is my particular brand of suffering, then that's great. I do see opportunities everywhere, and I like the word condemned because it can be quite painful to do so, because I see potential everywhere, like
Mhm.
in people, in property, in ideas, and it's so little of it is actually acted upon, and I see most things just like uh, deteriorates into nothing.
I like the word condemn too, because it's a word that implies that you can't escape from it too. It's
Mm.
like you can try to defy the things that come most naturally to you, but you always feel slightly drawn to it. And so instead of denying yourself something that you've loved so much and just cannot come to terms with that you love, like and it's a hack towards FI. You don't have to know what you stand for, but instead you realize that every avenue takes you to a subpar solution, except for following that natural flow state that you're in. It's
Mm.
almost realizing that your flow state is the only way to go, by bumping into every dead end corner and going like, wow, that did not serve me. That did not serve me. I have to honor my flow state, because you realize that there is no other way. And necessity is the best teacher. And so once you learn that, you gain a certain sense of clarity and focus. And so what I like about figuring out people's divine design is that you help them realize their power, in that it'll always be there even if you try to ignore it or deny it. And I'm just trying to help you see something in you that it will help you in the long run. Yeah.
Do you think that most of society is living in a state of rejecting or ignoring their divine design?
I think a lot of the world is not built in a way where you're able to actualize into it, because you have to be comfortable enough and feel safe enough and be honest enough with yourself to be able to see it. And when you're given the pressure of needing to pay bills or needing to do things like take care of your children, you may not always be given the time to look at what fulfills and substantiates you. A big part of me getting to type was I was really dead inside, and I was trying to figure out what could cure my dead insideness. And I realized it was because I wasn't living in my flow state. And being able to help people realize their dead insideness and being able to help them pinpoint it and how to get out of that is very fulfilling to me. It's giving them the paradigm shift that they need to feel fully alive. Because what it is life if you're just surviving instead of thriving, instead of feeling truly from the bottom of your core alive?
Yeah, what is it that makes you feel alive? Would you say that like it's feeling alive and being in a flow state is acting in accordance with your, you know, your top functions.
That's one of the ways.
Yeah.
There's many ways to tap into your divine design. Every model is kind of hinting at the same thing, is how I see it. They're trying to see top traits that you have. And as you realize you take multiple different models, you'll get similar results for each model. And you'll realize that you're actually pretty consistent as a person, that different indicators will tell you slightly different things, but you're ultimately you're a pattern over time, and this habit stabilizes a bit because people don't typically radically change, and it typically takes 20 years, 30 years for that to happen. And they're still them, but just augmented them.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's something beneath that all that is the version of you that stays consistent over time almost. And I try to help people figure out what that is and a lot of life is about unlearning. And so I really want to help people figure out a way to unlearn the things that make them unhappy so that they can be happy, which is why I'm so into coaching, which is why I love type. So when people know I love type, what I'm saying is not that I love type, is I love all the things associated with type too, because I see type as a pathway or one of the potential ways you can figure out what your flow state is, which honors your natural way of being a little bit more. So you don't have to keep going upstream or going uphill and having to strain your whole life. And you can figure out how to do your life, but do it in a way that doesn't hurt, but it helps. Because sometimes it's hard to differentiate the type of pain that helps you grow and the type of pain that is just hurting you.
Yeah.
And so sometimes people, they feel pain in their lives, but they feel like it's necessary pain. Oh, this is helping me. But really, it might just be pain too.
100%. Yeah.
And so all of these deep core beliefs I have are tied to my understanding of type theory. And so when people don't understand that, then they don't understand all of those other beliefs tied into it as well as deeply.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I see so many people. This is why I created TypeMatch, not only to find my boyfriend, but I see so many people caught in hell within themselves and then also within relationships. Like when I think back, I thought until, recently, I was like, I never want to get married because I never saw a marriage that made me think, wow, that's what I want in my life. But I realized there's all these people who they're angry and they're sad and they're caught in hell in their relationships because they don't know how to communicate to their partner what their needs even are, because they don't know themselves well enough. They don't understand themselves, so how could they possibly expect their partner to understand them? And then they create this disharmony, then they have kids, and then they pass down their trauma along the generations. So I'm trying to break that cycle for people by giving them these tools such as type, but not the only tool, attachment style, to help them claw their way out of the hole that they were put in, and then they dug deeper for themselves. But it's extremely powerful. It's extremely powerful if used properly or if used improperly. So you have to be careful. And I agree with you about people not being able to tell if the pain is helping them grow or if it's just painful. And I was in that situation a lot. I had to kind of bounce around the world trying different things to figure out what it was that I wanted. But one common theme strung along all of it. And that was searching for connection.
Yeah. Connection's where it's at, which is why I love talking to people in typology. It's a form of connection. It is community. And it's about to kind of get you to. Type is a great way of talking about yourself without talking about yourself. So you can say everything hey, this is what ESTPs do, but it makes it easier for you to share about yourself. And so it's a hack to get people to be more vulnerable too. So I find type to be a great icebreaker to get to people's souls as well. People are way more comfortable talking about an impersonal concept than about themselves, but you can get people to talk about their deepest traumas through talking about type, because they think they're just talking about type, and then they realize they're sharing, and then they get comfortable sharing, and then they can share the full thing.
Oh, that is so true. Yeah.
It's the bait and switch. So bait and switch is not just used in comedy to, comedians typically use it. They tell one joke and then the second joke, the third joke, they switch it, and then you're not expecting it, and it's really funny. But you can also use the bait and switch in typology, whereas you get people to talk about themselves in the context of type, but really they end up talking about them as a human being. And it is very, very beautiful.
Yeah.
Your personality is unique. It's hard to find someone that understands you. Try dating using personality type matching. Find out who you're compatible with using Myers-Briggs and Big 5 personality scores. Download TypeMatch and start dating by personality type compatibility today. TypeMatch, available on App Store and Play Store.